What is happening, guys? Welcome back. So in the last episode on this XV750 we managed to get all the dash mounted and fitted. We've got the front speedo sensor sorted and we actually got the back brake working as well, so it's quite a big episode really. In this one we're going to do something that I mentioned very early on and that finally managed to sort out. The carbs that the engine's got on then are quite an old, I think they're an SU carb. They've got vacuum lines running all over the frame, vacuum lines everywhere, and they just look a mess. They need servicing, and as soon as I go taking them apart, they're just going to break. So what we've done is upgraded them. What we're upgrading them to are these Mikuni Carburetors, which are Japanese made from Allen's Performance. They're not sponsored or anything. I've bought these through a friend who works with Allen's Performance quite regularly. So yeah, we've got these. I think they're 36mm carbs. They're jetted, from what I've been told, to be right, because you have different pressures in the front cylinder to the back cylinder. So the front one is jetted to 220 and the rear one is jetted to 210. So hopefully we'll get these fitted on and make up some throttle cables and the bike will just work. So the first thing we've got to do is get rid of these old carbs and get all these vacuum lines off, offer the new carbs in, and then work out where we're going to put the throttle cables. There are those carbs fitted and on. We're probably going to have to cut a bit off of this as well when we find an air filter to put on them, just so that it brings it back a little bit. But again, this is literally just the dry build. So we've got that side on, we've got this side on. They look much better. You can see through the bike much more. We're going to be cutting this off, plating this, getting rid of all these clips that were for all the vacuum lines, just to tidy it up so you can see through a little bit more. Here you can see we've got the throttle cables from both sides that go up to a splitter up here, because it's two, one obviously for each carb, into one cable, and then comes round to the domino throttle, which does exactly what it's supposed to. So yeah, another little thing done. Now, making those throttle cables wasn't really easy because I've literally never done it before. And there's a lot of faffing of soldering ends on and taking carbs to pieces and all sorts of different things. But we've got them on, they're working. I think they're okay. We'll try it, test it, ride it. If not, it's going to be 15 quid, buy another set, and we'll do them again. And now I know what I'm doing. Hopefully they will be a bit easier. So moving on to the next little job, because it's just moving from one job onto the next constantly. The ignition that is on it at the moment is the one off the XV750, which is this big, horrible, cumbersome, ugly looking thing. And what I've bought is this little 2-wire ignition, just literally on, off, that's your lot. 2 wires out of it. So what we're going to do now is select somewhere to put it. Now, I've been thinking about a few different areas and things and places that I want to put it, but looking at the bike, the obvious place to put it is where the airbox used to be. So what I'm going to do now is cut myself a plate out that goes over there, bolts on to there. We'll drill a hole in the centre for the lock to go through, for the ignition to go through, and then bolt it on, and that should be it. Now, yes, it's an ignition that's bolted on the outside, but this isn't going to be an everyday ridden bike that's left in car parks all day and things like that. This is it's more for design than everyday riding, if that makes sense. So having an ignition that's bolted on hopefully shouldn't be the end of the world. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So let's jump to our favourite little thing, a quick time lapse. There is the ignition switch mounted on there. Now, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. The hole isn't in the middle because apparently I didn't drill it in the middle. I'll draw this and get it lasered so we know it's bang on. But basically, cables come up through the frame here, out through a hole here, which obviously needs drilling bigger, and it will need a grommet. Cables come back here to a connector here that then goes off to the appropriate places. So, yeah, I don't think that looks too out of place. I think it looks pretty good. Fills a hole anyway and does what it needs to. Which leads us on to a job that I won't say I've been putting off, as I do like to put jobs off. You can probably tell by all the other projects. I just don't know how much of a faff it's going to be, because I think getting this off is going to be difficult to start because it's so seized up. So what we need to do now is sort out taking this rear shock out, because we're going to be fitting this shock, which came on the ZX, which I'm probably going to end up changing for something else at some point, but I'm going to make the mounts to suit that, because then we'll buy a shock suitable for a ZX and it should bolt straight in. But basically this shock bolts, well, it's got a pin that goes that way through the rear swing arm and it bolts that way, so the fixings are at 90 degrees to each other. These fixings are not, they're the same. And it's a lot shorter than the standard shock. And I can't use the standard shock that's in it because it has some form of a gas system thing in it. It's gone, the shock's had it. I've cut all the pipework off. So we need to take all of this stuff off the top, try and get that shock out, and then we'll go raid the farm workshop for some steel to hopefully make a bracket for the top. And you can buy these already done out of a billet that's machined, but they're many pounds, and I'm not spending many more pounds on this. We'll make one, it's not seen, it's up there. When it's painted, you won't know. So it turned out to be as much of a pain as I expected it to be. Top shock bolt came out easily, but the bottom one, we had to cut through both sides of that, because basically all that's in here is a pin that goes in that way, and there's a split pin in that end that holds it and stops it from coming out. Well, it's seized in this side of the swing arm. So yeah, we had to cut straight through. The other side knocked out easily, and then this side here, I actually managed to snap a drift twice, knocking that out, but with many hits with the persuader, it came out. So that shock is off and now ready for the scrap bin. What I've done is just found a random bolt that's long enough to chuck through the hole to get this sitting in the right place with some washers just to give us a bit of spacing. Obviously it's temporary, but that's got that there, sitting in the right place. I've measured where I want the bottom of the frame to be in relation to the floor, so we've got it all in the right place. That is going to be where it's going to sit. So what am I going to do to make this shock mount? Now I've got an idea, and I'm hoping it's going to work, as we do with all these little ideas that we have. So what I'm thinking is this top point here, where this bolt goes through, you've got a plate here and a plate here. What I'm going to use for there is some 40mm box that's going to be shaped to fit. We'll box it all in and cap all the ends and everything off. That's going to have a tube welded through the middle. That's going to go and weld in up the top. What we're going to then do is sleeve it with a piece of not bent 30mm, because 30mm is the bang on right size for that. And we'll do the same again. We'll sleeve it through the middle so it's nice and strong, cap the end off. Nice solid weld. Put nice big solid welds all the way around there to join them together. And hopefully that will be strong enough to mount that rear shock. So hopefully that makes sense. Right, I'm going to chuck this on a time lapse. I'm just going to get this done. There we go, one shock mount made. So that part bolts through the bike, which is 40mm, and that part there bolts onto the shock, which is 30mm. Happens to be standard stock sizes, which is quite nice. Now what I've done, obviously, I've sent that all the way up, so we'll weld it all the way around there. We'll weld it around the top, and I've just put some bits of plate inside it to pack it out, because the internal diameter, or the internal sizing, was 3mm, so I've got a bit of 1.5 either side and a bit of 1.5 either side. In the middle, bang on where it needs to be. That bolts in there so them holes all line up for when we weld it together. Now what I've done as well, I've just been next door and nicked some tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of tube that will also tack to the inside so that this can't crush. And then for the sake of it, we'll put one in there as well, just so that can't crush. That will be, we'll box the end off, and that should be then a nice solid shock mount to go in that bike. And there we have one rear shock mount welded up. It's absolutely solid. So you've got 2mm wall 30x30 box inside, which has also then got a 2mm wall piece of tube to stop it squishing that way. That sits in, I think this is a 3mm 40x40 box, which has got 1.5mm on each edge. That's all welded together. Then the top, that's got the same walled tube going through the middle, plate the end, all welded together, and that is absolutely solid. So let's get that fitted onto the shock, get the shock fitted onto the bike, see if it'll hold its weight. Cool, shock is in. Let's put it on. Take it off this jack. There we go. Rear shock is fitted. So, what we can do now is put all of this lot back on that I've taken off. Then I think it's going to be throw the tank on. See if it'll fire. So in the last episode, I said I was going to do a little bit of a competition and pick a random comment and send you a mug and a couple of stickers. So this is the announcement of last episode's winner. The winner of that competition is this comment here. Congratulations. I'll reply to you and we can sort out getting it to you from there. Right, let's get back into it. And there we have it. All assembled. Pretty much that is the mostly, other than the exhaust, I think, that is the initial build done. So, now we've got these new carbs on, let's chuck some fuel in, see if it'll start. It runs. I got the AC leads in the wrong coils, that's why it wouldn't start when I first started to try and start it. But yeah, as you can hear, it runs, it rides, does what it needs to do. It is extremely loud because there's no silencer anywhere on them exhausts, and the rear pipe is very, very short. That does need doing, but I think I'm going to wait and build the exhaust when the bike all back together, painted and finished. Not quite sure why, but that's what I feel like I want to do. So let me just, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and throw some cinematics in now, show you around it. Next episode then, we're going to be getting on, stripping the bike down, getting everything prepped and ready to go out for paint, powder coat, upholstery, all the things that need doing to it. So yeah, that one will be left there. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, guys. Till next time, enjoy.